Thank you. Bless you. I just want to say, greetings and thank you. I'm a Navajo Diné person. My first clan is Diné. I'm related to Tapa, and then my paternal grandfather is Chishic, and then my maternal grandfather is Kabashi. So those are my 4 clans, and in that way, that's how we identify ourselves. A lot of these clans are related to water. The 4 clans that I mentioned are all related to water. So it's beautiful here in your country, my relatives that are presenting here and that have presented here. And I just want to say thank you, and I want to greet the land, the water here that you all are a part of. So greetings. I am a rebel. I do not have any degree. I did not go to school. I had to learn one word at a time after 18 years old because we were in a crisis. We were in battle with the United States government over land rights, where they wanted to take our land, give it away to a coal mining company. Since 4 years ago, that coal mining company finally left the land. So that's victory. And I'm proud of my ancestors who I carry with me through my arrowhead, because this is things that we have to carry on as traditional knowledge holders. You probably wonder why she has a bunch of turquoise on. In my way, when you talk about the earth, when you talk about anything that regards life on this earth, the turquoise is that representative. Also, it represents the sun, the father of all living things on this earth. So with this, I just want to say thank you for putting this together, my sisters, and all the young people that have helped make this happen. And I want to say thank you to my daughter for hosting me and taking care of me. It's been painful. Advocating for the earth. I've been to jail many times because we stood up for our way of life, our Mother Earth. In the Southwest, we have over 1,500 abandoned uranium mines on our reservation, so-called reservation. And it's a big reservation that goes into New Mexico, Arizona, and Utah. And it's been designated to us back when we were rounded up in the mid-1800s. Our ancestor had the spiritual knowledge to hang on to that land. We are bound by 4 mountains. Our eastern mountain is by Alamosa, Colorado, and south central Colorado. Our southern mountain is in Mount Taylor, which is near Ranch and Albuquerque, New Mexico. The western mountain is over by Flagstaff, Arizona. And then the northern mountain is the La Blanca Peak over by Durango, Colorado. So we have that traditional land base. Within that land base, we have headwaters starting from Wyoming, the Colorado River. It goes down through Wyoming, Colorado, Utah, New Mexico, and Arizona. That's the foundation of the male being. That's what it represents. Then we have the Rio Grande on the eastern side, which runs from Mount Blanca, Colorado, is where the headwaters is, and it goes down into Mexico, through New Mexico and then into Mexico. So all this water eventually goes back to the ocean. And so with this, we have to continue to sing the songs. We have to continue to offer these mineral stones back to the earth, back to the water, back to the sun, to the air, to the fire. And those are the natural elements that holds us in balance. And those are being disturbed right now because of greed. And that's what's causing the so-called climate change. The climate is impacted because we're overtaking the earth, we're taking its resources and imbalancing it. When I was a child, I was told by my grandfather, the moon and the earth holds each other in balance. If we take all these minerals from the earth, it's going to imbalance the moon. It's going to imbalance the connection with the sun. So that's what's happening now, because we're just absorbing and absorbing and absorbing and don't know when to stop. And we keep taking. So I come from the land that has been designated as a national sacrifice area. So we have uranium mining that happened and now they're coming back and we're fighting them along the Grand Canyon. We fought with Peabody Coal Energy for like 40 plus years. Finally they left. So from those coal power plants, a lot of the land got contaminated really bad, including the water, the vegetation, the people. So we're not healthy like we should be. And so then now there's fracking, gas development, oil development, and now they want to do more things, helium development. So we're in battle with those things. And as you all know, I don't know if you keep up with the news, they're questioning the rights to fish, the rights to subsistent living in Alaska, and probably will impact the states down here with the native people that consume from those resources. So they're changing these laws, and we have to be there to defend it. And sadly, we have to be, because our way of life depends on those things. And we continue to do that. So I would have had a slideshow or a short film, but I wasn't certain, so I didn't do that. But I will have a website soon and post those things on there. However, food work is always been our work as mothers. From the time we become young mothers, we have children. So when we have a child, a girl, she begins to develop. Our first celebration is the first laugh at about 2 months. We serve food on a basket. We have sea salt on there, 2 or 3 of it. The baby sits on your lap, whoever made the baby laugh, and you give the food to whoever comes, the relative. And then with that, it's a celebration. By then she has a name, and then she gets to grow. As she's growing, we take her wherever with grandma, with mom, to learn the things that she needs to know as a young girl, and then eventually a woman. So in this time, she becomes a young woman at a certain age, 12 to 17, depending on her health and how she is. At that time, we have a ceremony again, and this is called the Blessing Way ceremony, where we bake a traditional corn cake in the ground, and there's a singing all night. which is the sounds of the universe, the songs of the earth, and the songs of the consolation, and that life may be good. So at that time in the morning, we have pallets of different sorts, good things that we might have in our possession, and relatives brings their possession, medicine bundles, like I have a stir stick over there at the table. Those, are tools as women. Those and our craft tools are all blessed with this young woman that has become of age. And so in those 4 days when her hair is tied, she runs every day. She's made to work every day physically, and so that she can be ready for that in her lifetime, to be prepared. And a lot of lecturing. Of course, when you're young, you don't want to hear those old women lecturing you, right? But that's what happens. And you have to, keep it in there, because that's going to be your journey in your life. And you're taught to not talk back, which is really hard to do if you're a loudmouth. If you like to argue, a teenager, and but you're told to be quiet, listen, and follow orders. And the grandmothers usually are the ones that are giving those messages to you and making sure that you do things in a certain way. Throughout the night, you sit up as they sing. You can't sleep. And that's to prepare you, like I said. And for the young man, same thing when they're born as babies, their first laugh, celebration. When their voices change, when they become young men, then that treatment is different from the girl. That one's a sweat lodge ceremony, where the uncles, the grandfathers, they come in and they lecture him, and he has a hot sweat. And he does that for 2 days. And then he's made to work physically, also lectured a lot. And in this time, you're told the women's job is in the home, starting with taking care of your fire, your water, your food, and your tools, and making sure that your relatives, in the future your children, are kept in this order, and that your teaching are very instilled. This is a traditional Navajo Diné way. And so then, if you are to practice, to learn how to heal, to restore, and to know things, then you start at that young age. You begin to learn those songs, those prayers, those offerings, and there's certain times that these medicine plants are picked, certain foods are picked, certain offerings are given to those different elements, and they all have a spiritual name. So then when you need it, you use that name. And throughout your life, everything's not going to be smooth. It's going to be challenging. And so we have a lot of ceremonies, healing ceremonies. Some include 12 days, some 9 days, 5 days, 4 days, 2 days, 1 day. So we still have a lot of that still to this day, because our children were disciplined and told to carry these on. And we encourage that. So in my work, I go out. I was picked as a community leader by the University of Northern Arizona about 20 years ago. Through that, because people don't know their language, I was hired to translate to communities that didn't speak English. So we still have a lot of population that don't understand or read English. And it's good because that's where our stronghold is. That's where our power is. But I go out and talk to these people, let them know about, diabetes, heart disease, cancer, and different health issues. So I let them know, and then the student nurses come out and they give them tests to see where their sugar levels are, their cholesterol, and all that stuff. And their diet, we get seeds and we help them develop gardens back in their community centers. We have 110 different community centers throughout this region. So we work with the so-called senior center, and we tell them, you have to take care of this, you water it, Then we come back in the fall, we make our rounds again. And this time we're cooking the food that got grown and demonstrating how you use it. For myself, because I'm a forager, my mother was traditional, very traditional. She didn't speak a word of English. And so did my father. So I come from that kind of background. And but they taught me about the food, the different food there is, the medicine. And so I bring that out and I show the youth what these food are, what they're called, when you harvest them, how you prepare them, and when you should use them. That's what I do as my job, as a mother, a grandmother, a grandmother, So I never have time to sit down and get stressed out. I'm always doing something, and then right now, I also take kids that are, that have parents that are lost to alcohol and drugs. And some of them are my own grandkids, so I put them over here and take care of them and shoo the parents away till they can get themselves together up here again. And they know, my daughter knows that, but still, she's possessed by her own demons. So until she can get it together, she can be with her children again. But in the meantime, I'm my son, the old mother. So it's my duty, my job, my little Nollies. They have a wild mother, my son's children, and I don't wait on her to get straightened up. I put them over here too. And I make sure that they have food, they know what things are called, and we do nature walks, and I show them the plants. I do that with the youth. I have a lot of students that come to me after they're done with their university studies. They want to know what things are. Again, another cycle, and this time it's their own cycle of their own culture. So it feels good, that way. I don't feel sad. I don't feel depressed. And I just feel that, so now, because the state of Arizona, the Supreme Court of the USA, they don't want to give us our water rights to those rivers. Their law says we can't have access to those waters. So it's good to see all your food here, I'm happy to eat some of your food with you here at this meeting, at this gathering. And so we decided, I was in Boston 2 weeks ago to find out what the solutions were. So when that young man was up here earlier talking about solution, my ears perked up, of course, like, wow. Because we're not doing enough of that as Indigenous people. We haven't started talking about solutions, and that's where we need to be at. So we got together with people from Peru, the same problem, mining issues, drug lords, deforestation, people taking over their lands, and them being denied their water rights. So we have to come up with a solution very soon with them, for them, show them. And So anyways, we decided that we were gonna, because our mountains have water, and they're coming out and they're draining down into those rivers. Once it gets into the rivers, we're told we can't have access to it. So we're going to start developing things to use that water over here before it gets to the river. That's our next trick. So you gotta think like that. You gotta think alternatively. You know, in these systems of institution, they're not going to teach you that. But the coyote will teach you that, right? Yeah. The deer, the elk, they'll teach you those things. So we have to be on that path with them because we are a part of them. They are a part of us. We coexist. That's why we talk to the plants, to the trees, to the rocks. Some people think we're really totally out of it, you know, because those are more serious things we gotta acknowledge and live with and communicate with. So that's the work that I do, and you know, I just want to say thank you for the beautiful songs, for the beautiful prayers, for the beautiful presentations. And I probably have a lot more to say, but I'm going to let you all think about it, and if you have a question, I'm right here.